Why didn't we do that? Why didn't you do that? That's what we pay you folks to do.
Well, again,
I get all the Wells letter and all that. We've got tens of thousands of people that lost a lot of money, and they look at this young man and they go, how did the regulatory authorities allow this guy to function? I mean, his Secret Service name is Butthead. That's how bad he is. Where was the SEC?
Hey, crypto enthusiasts and financial watchdogs. Today, we're diving deep into a fiery exchange that's shaking up the crypto world. Senator John Kennedy just grilled SEC Chair Gary Gensler over the FTX fraud case, and boy did the sparks fly. Before we jump in, make sure you smash that subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest crypto drama and financial news. Senator Kennedy, known for his no-nonsense approach, comes out swinging. He straight up asks Gensler, why did the SEC allow the FTX fraud to happen? Talk about cutting to the chase. Gensler tries to deflect, saying the crypto field is a minefield of commingled services and ripe for abuse. But Kennedy's not buying it. He hits back, reminding Gensler that the SEC has been claiming authority over crypto for years. So where were they when FTX was cooking up this mess? Now let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried, or as I like to call him, the crypto world's favorite punching bag. Kennedy doesn't pull any punches here. He describes SBF as a young guy with more zeal than wisdom, looking like the fourth runner-up in a John Belushi look-alike contest. Ouch. But here's the kicker. Kennedy suggests that even a quick look by the SEC could have spotted the red flags at FTX. It's like they didn't even try. Gensler tries to save face by throwing out some numbers. He claims the SEC has taken action on 150 crypto cases in recent years. But Kennedy's not impressed. He wants to know why they didn't zero in on FTX specifically. The plot thickens when Gensler mentions legal hurdles in investigating crypto companies. Apparently these firms lawyer up and burn the clock. But is that really a good excuse? Kennedy really drives his point home here. He suggests the SEC could have easily gotten an injunction to shut down FTX. His frustration is palpable as he asks, why didn't you do that? That's what we pay you folks to do. It's a stark reminder of the SEC's responsibility to protect investors. And speaking of investors, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay informed on all things crypto and finance. The senator wraps up by highlighting the real victims here, the thousands of people who lost money in the FTX collapse. He questions the effectiveness of regulatory authorities in preventing such frauds. It's a sobering moment that really puts the whole debacle into perspective.
Follow your remarks, Mr. Chairman, because I have great respect for you, and you've said repeatedly before FTX blew up that the SEC has the authority to regulate cryptocurrency. Now, here you have this company, FTX, run by a young man who has more zeal than wisdom. He prides himself looking like the fourth runner-up in a John Belushi lookalike contest. He prides himself on being underdressed and overhaired, reeks with arrogance. You could have sent down one investigator from the FTC with an ego like Mr. Bankman-Fried and said, I want to send someone down from the SEC and let them just watch you for a day. And he probably would have welcomed you in. I mean, his dad is a chaired professor at Stanford Law School. Where was Stanford? But where was the SEC? I mean, this was an accident waiting to happen. And I don't understand where the SEC was.
So, sir, I would say that the whole field has hurt more Americans than it should.
Yeah, but I'm talking about FTX. I mean, we look back at FTX. I mean, Senator Durbin made this point. And we have this elaborate, complex regulatory machinery, the SEC, which I support, which is supposed to guarantee transparency and combat fraud. And any fair-minded person has to look at FTX and Mr. Bankman-Fried and these kids and go, what in God's, where was everybody? Where was the SEC?
And I would say where we were is my predecessor, and also under my honor to be chair, we've brought 140 or 150 actions. There are 15 to 20,000 tokens, and there are dozens of platforms.
But it was after the fact, Gary. I mean, here's this young man. He did everything but buy Mount Rushmore. Weren't you all curious? Where's this guy getting this money?
I would say that in the summer of 2021, when we Wells noticed a very large crypto exchange in the U.S., they went on Twitter and said that we were sketchy. When we subpoenaed Do Kwon, this is all public, so I can say it. When we gave him a subpoena, he fought us in the district court. He fought us in the appellate court.
But I'm not talking about how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pin. I'm talking about why didn't you send somebody down? I guarantee you, with his ego, Mr. Bankman-Fried would have welcomed you. Okay, he probably would have asked you to bring a film crew. You just send an investigator down, spend a half a day with these young people, come back, and go get an injunction. Shut them down until they can answer some very basic, fundamental questions. Like, for example, were they commingling funds? Why didn't we do that? Why didn't you do that? That's what we pay you folks to do.
Well, again,
I get all the Wells letter and all that. We've got tens of thousands of people that lost a lot of money. And they look at this young man and they go, how did the regulatory authorities allow this guy to function? I mean, his Secret Service name is Butthead. That's how bad he is. Where was the SEC?
And again, sir, I can't speak to one enforcement matter like that, but let me just broadly say
it's a big one.
This whole field, the whole crypto field, is built on models that we wouldn't allow in traditional securities markets of commingling. The commingling that you're mentioning.
Why did you allow FTX?
And
Why did you allow FTX?
We investigate by the book. You, I'm sure, and the American public want us to follow the facts, follow the law, properly give people subpoenas. They get lawyered up. They give us replies. They do effectively burn clock, and on average,
you could have gotten an injunction, half a day.
And there you have it, folks. A heated exchange that exposed the cracks in our financial regulatory system. It's clear that the crypto world is still the Wild West and the sheriff might be asleep at the wheel. What do you think? Should the SEC have done more? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to smash that like button and stay up to date. Until next time, make the background music dramatic.